With the announcement of Commander Ahsoka and all the recent farming changes in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the question has started percolating again in videos and streams. Who should my first galactic legend be? And we take a look at this, I don't know, every 6 to 9 months. We kind of circle back, see what's going on in the game, and readdress this question. So let's take a look. Who should be your first galactic legend in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good. And before we jump into our conversation of who your first galactic legend should be in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I think it's important to issue the disclaimer that I often issue. A galactic legend is a galactic legend is a galactic legend. And while we may have some that are just endgame and continue to be so, like Leia Organa, Jabba the Hutt, who also delivers you Smuggler's Run 2 and gets you a bunch of mods. And we have some that maybe are a little bit on the struggle bus. You can't really put them on defense, like Sith Eternal Emperor. You know, a galactic legend is a galactic legend is a galactic legend. They're going to change and reshape and transform your roster if you put them on the roster. So with that in mind, we also want to talk about Lightspeed bundles. So we've obviously had Lightspeed bundles for Rey and Kylo. We've had the Shadows of the Empire bundle with a bunch of rebels in it that was really a big benefit for Jedi Master Luke as well. We've had the Gas bundle, which leads you toward kind of Jedi Master Kenobi and Lord Vader at the same time and with different characters. But with all that said, I'm going to approach this outside of the Lightspeed bundle territory. And I'm sure Lightspeed bundles will come out throughout this video, but I'm going to approach this just assuming we're in a vacuum. We still to this day, you know, almost a year later, since like 9-10 months after the Lightspeed bundles were launched, 9 months, we don't know how it works. We don't know if we're ever going to see the Rey and Kylo bundles again. I kind of think we are, but assuming we don't, we're going to take this from the perspective of a free-to-play person or someone that's not buying Lightspeed bundles, or just we're going to try to work around Lightspeed bundles. So let's start the conversation. Let's start right off here with our brand new, just announced Galactic Legend Commander, or not, I always do that. I've been doing that. Commander Ahsoka, no. Galactic Legend Ahsoka. And here's my thing. General Anakin Skywalker is in here. That is a gigantic journey for you. It requires a bunch of Separatists. It requires a bunch of Galactic Republic. Again, I know there was a bundle recently for General Anakin Skywalker, and now we know why. They're trying to make it more available for Galactic Legend Ahsoka. But they've also announced that Baylan Skoll is going to be another event. It's not a legendary event. What are these events called? I can't keep track of what's legendary, I don't know what these journeys are called, but let's take a look here. Gas is a epic confrontation. So in an epic confrontation, there's very specific teams required. So we've already been told that Baylan Skoll is going to be required for this. So you've got 2 giant epic confrontations required for Commander, I did it again, Galactic Legend Ahsoka. Now, if you already bought the bundle for General Anakin Skywalker and you've unlocked General Anakin Skywalker, great, you got part of it done. But you know, it's not just that. There are 7 Zetas required for General Anakin Skywalker. He requires a bunch of Kyrotechs to unlock. So there's a lot more going on here. And I'm just going to say, and plus all the new characters like Night Trooper, we're going to see, now I forgot her name, Elsbeth, Morgan Elsbeth. We're going to see her come out, you know, and there were a couple other characters, the commander of the troopers, of the Night Troopers, and then the Death Knight Trooper coming out. They're all going to be single node farms for a year or so. So Commander Ahsoka, we're not going to consider her as our first galactic legend in the game right now. And I think before we go any further, I do want to consider one other thing in here. And I know I put it here. Here we go. This is it. So Kyrotechs. Kyrotech farming matters. How many Kyrotechs it takes to unlock a galactic legend matters. I made a previous video on this about Kyrotech farming. We've also talked about farming around Kyrotechs, but if you look at the Kyrotechs from obviously mostly it just goes from Rey and starts climbing, so you get to Lord Vader, then it starts descending again. So these Kyrotechs are going to come into play when we look at Galactic Legends. We don't know what the Kyrotech requirement will be for Ahsoka yet, but you can assure you it's not going to be a small Kyrotech requirement. So that will come into play in the conversation as well. Next, let's go all the way. Let's go from the most recent to the original Galactic Legend Rey. And I'm just going to say she is also not really in the running for your first Galactic Legend. And the main reason, it's not performance. She's really a defensive stalwart in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It is because her entire farm is Resistance characters. And Resistance characters historically have not really been a great set of characters. They don't lead you These Resistance characters lead you nowhere else in the game. They don't overlap with any other farms. You just saw Commander... Somebody type Commander Ahsoka in comments. I can't stop saying. You just saw Galactic Legend Ahsoka's requirements. We've already got overlap with General Anakin Skywalker. Asajj Ventress is already in there. These characters are overlapping with other farms we have. So the problem with Rey is none of these characters overlap. I think Resistance Hero Han isn't even in here. None of these characters overlap. The only overlap that you're gonna get, is gonna be the Radis. To get that, you have to have the Houndstooth. And the Houndstooth overlaps with the Finalizer, which you need for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and also is needed for the Executor. That's it. That's the one overlap you have in this farm. I just don't think Rey, even though she's Kyrotech cheap, you also need to add, by the way, Zori Bliss to get a second team out of this. If you want a second team, you can put in Grand Arena, and it's usable. You got to get Zori Bliss, but they're just not usable in any other game modes. So Resistance just aren't very exciting. So we're gonna eliminate Commander Ahsoka and Rey right now. And again, I'll go back to it. If you guys want to farm these guys and that's your farming path, go ahead, do it. I don't care. Have fun with the game. It's a game. You gotta have fun. So go do that. Let's talk next about Lord Vader and Jedi Master Kenobi. So Jedi Master Kenobi is actually a lower Kyrotech requirement than some of the later characters. However, he's got requirements like Negotiator at 6 stars, which some of you guys aren't going to be getting here. Mace Windu, Isla Secura, Bo-Katan, these aren't really, there's not a lot of really hard farms in here when you look at it. General Grievous, Magna Guard, Clone Sergeant, Wat Tambor is a little bit of a wall for some of you guys if you're not in a Geonosis Territory Battles Guild and or your GOTB guild is not getting Wat Tambor shards. You have no other avenue to unlock Wat Tambor other than Darkside Geonosis Territory Battles. So that's a big, kind of roadblock is Wat Tambor. If you're getting those Wat Tambor shards, that's great. The second thing you have to look at is that Jedi Master Kenobi really is not useless, but his value is greatly diminished without Commander Ahsoka Tano on the roster. We'll go ahead and look at Commander Ahsoka. Again, that's not Galactic Legend Ahsoka, it's Commander Ahsoka. Jedi Master Kenobi, his first ability that he uses completely reduces the cooldowns of unaligned Force users, and I'm on the wrong roster here to look at it, so, sorry about that. I thought I was on my main roster, but Commander Ahsoka is not available in the game. Now, you can buy her with crystals and stuff, but generally speaking, she's not available in the game until you hit 4 million galactic power. When you hit Conquest and Proving Grounds, and when you get into Proving Grounds, you unlock her slowly over the course of a year to 2, like 20 every month, a year and a half, some of that range. You'll get Commander Ahsoka. That makes Jedi Master Kenobi the Wat Tambor wall and the Commander Ahsoka. Now, if you're going to be paying and you want to get a bunch of crystals, you can use crystals to unlock Commander Ahsoka. Maybe you go for Jedi Master Kenobi at that point because, again, he is a lower Kyrotech requirement, and these are not a lot of difficult characters to farm other than Wat Tambor and Commander Ahsoka. You should consider Commander Ahsoka part of the requirements for Jedi Master Kenobi. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to put Jedi Master Kenobi maybe a little bit ahead of Lord Vader for that, because we did see that when we looked at the Kyrotech requirements, Lord Vader is the most, and I got calculated into that all of the Kyrotechs you need to unlock General Anakin Skywalker, and yeah, of course you can maybe get by with that with not as many Kyrotechs, but I put them all in there. You need the Bad Batch or a ton of Kyrotechs required. Padme's got extra Kyrotechs. I don't think Echo does. Let's see. You need the Y-wing starfighter, which that's not that hard. That's a 6-month farm. ARC Trooper needs. I don't even. So General Skywalker and Padme and all the Kyrotechs you're gonna need to get to them, and the Bad Batch. It's a heavy Kyrotech requirement, and much like Jedi Master Kenobi, there's another character required really to take Lord Vader to his maximum usage, and that is Maul. And Maul is available the exact same way Commander Ahsoka is available. So, yes, I am doing a free-to-play Lord Vader journey right now, but I'm doing it more as the long play. We're gonna go through and get all of our assault battle teams. We're gonna get a couple of their side teams on that. We're gonna farm Profundity, so it's more of a long play. You want to go for the long journey toward Lord Vader, you're welcome to do that. It's just that without Maul, he is not at his maximum capability, And just generally speaking, his farm is much harder to do because of all of the chirotechs required for Bad Batch specifically. Now, if you want to look at those Bad Batch and talk about the Galactic Republic fleet with the Marauder in there with Negotiator, you add the Marauder, which is the Bad Batch ship, and you get Hunter, Tech, and Wrecker up to relic levels with the Marauder in your Negotiator fleet. You're doing some special things, and it becomes an end game fleet for you. Now you can mix it out with the Jedi Master Kenobi fleet as well, or Jedi Master Kenobi farm as well. So if you're going to look at that route, if you're going to go the Negotiator with Marauder route, then maybe you bring in Jedi Master Kenobi and Lord Vader into your farming path as your first Galactic Legend. I just generally don't recommend these two as your first Galactic Legend for the reasons stated. Well, where does that leave us so far? So now we got Sith Eternal, Jedi Master Luke, we got Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and we got Leia and Jabba. Let's take a look at Sith Eternal. The first thing I'll say about Sith Eternal is it is, without question, the easiest Galactic Legend journey in the game. The easiest and the quickest and the most seductive. So you can get your way, you can make your way to Sith Eternal. I did it myself on this channel. I've got an entire Sith Eternal. I've got a playlist running through every video, every step of the way. We did it free to play. We unlocked him at about 8.5 months. We got his ultimate at about 9 months. That is faster than anybody else. We did Kylo, and this is years ago, so it could be a little bit different now, but I don't think it's all that much different, honestly. But we did Kylo in 9 months and 20 days. We unlocked him and got his ultimate in 10 months and 1 week or something like that. So Sith Eternal is your quickest path to a Galactic Legend. However, you just don't get a lot of stuff to go along with it. You get Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader. That's an okay team, to use against Geos or something. Palpatine is a good leader for Starkiller. Vader has some uses out there. But Royal Guard, Piet can bring into a trooper team. You will get a trooper team out of this. You got to farm Veers and Stark and Piet, and that'll get you a nice little trooper team out of it. Jedi Knight Anakin is there. You can get Qui-Gon, get his Omicron. You get a nice little nuke from Jedi Knight Anakin. And that's really about it. Tarkin, Dooku, Maul. Thrawn has really kind of fallen out of favor on most teams. He can fit into a Lord Vader team, believe it or not. Darth Sidious, when he had the Datacron, he was cool, but that Datacron is long gone. Director Krennic is useless. Royal Guard again fits on a Lord Vader team. You get the where is it here? The TIE Bomber at 6 stars. That's required for Executor. It's got to be at 7 stars, so you do get that, but just not a lot of value for this team. And Sith Eternal himself is broadly considered to be the worst Galactic Legend. You generally can take him out on offense. You have to take Tambor with him to make him work properly, and you're gonna do some work on him with offense, but he struggles against other Galactic Legends, like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren can solo a Sith Eternal team. It's really kind of ridiculous, but Sith Eternal, quickest and easiest to get to. And by the way, my final note on Sith Eternal is you're gonna eventually kind of get most of the way there anyway. A lot of the requirements for him, like Palpatine, you need for Kylo Ren. Darth Vader you need for the Executor. Admiral Piet you need for Executor. You may farm Royal Guard for Lord Vader along the way. Not going to farm Krennic for anything. Not going to farm... Well, Sidious, not really going to farm for anything. Maul and Dooku and Sith Marauder you're going to farm for the Leviathan eventually, so they're going to fit into there. And I guess that's part of it. This does fit in Leviathan. But Leviathan, again, has got that block for you. Darth Malgus and the Fury-class Interceptor are only available in Conquest and Proving Grounds, and they're challenging nodes for you as well, so the Leviathan's kind of got a block there too. You just don't have a lot of overlap here. Just not a great farm, and although it is the fastest one. If you're looking for something fast, go farm Sith Eternal, get them on your roster. Next, we'll take a look here at, I'm going to look at Kylo, because I got something to say about these three kind of in one breath. Kylo is an interesting farm. Kylo is still an interesting farm. Now, back in the day, we would always say, Kylo is it. Farm Galactic Legend Kylo Ren first. It's the way to go. I did a free-to-play account on it. It is still Arnold's free-to-play account now. We both farmed Kylo first. I unlocked him faster. I think I was more involved with the account. It was my only account at the time, and, Arnold's was busier with bigger and better stuff. But, hey, this First Order teams, you don't really get a lot out of this, although I want to talk about the finalizer. You need Palpatine there. So, yeah. You only get really one team out of this. You can maybe put Phasma in Territory Wars. My guild still kind of does that. We used to do it a lot more. We don't do as much now. But Phasma with an Omicron can go in Territory Wars. Let's talk about the Finalizer. A couple of things about the Finalizer. Number one, the farm for the Finalizer gets you the Houndstooth, the Xanadu Blood, and the Slave One. 2 of those 3 ships are required. The Houndstooth and the Slave One are required for the Executor, and Xandu Blood is needed for the Executor to work properly as a fleet. So you get those 3 ships toward Executor. So it used to be we would go Kylo, Executor, and then maybe roll into Sith and Turtle after that because they kind of fit all together. But yeah, so you get those ships for the Executor, and the Executor is widely considered to be the first capital ship you should try to unlock to get yourself to the top of Fleet Arena. Now, second thing is a full finalizer fleet with the shuttle and Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer and Kylo Ren's shuttle and the TIE Echelon. You throw in the Special Forces TIE Fighter and the First Order TIE Fighter in there. That full fleet beats Executor in Grand Arena for you and beats Executor in Fleet Arena for you. So I use it in Grand Arena all the time. I've got about an 85 to 90% success rate with Finalizer against Executor in all forms of Executor's fleets. So the value you get out of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, in addition to getting Kylo Ren, is this Finalizer fleet, the farm for it, and the utility of it. So I'm going to say that Kylo Ren still has a lot of value here in the as a first Galactic Legend. No, you're not soloing the heroic Sith raid anymore. That's not a thing, but you can still get a lot of value because Kylo beats a lot of all the other Galactic Legends, not even in the right settings. He just flat out beats a lot of the other Galactic. He can beat Jabba straight up. Jabba versus Kylo straight up, it's a Kylo win every time for me. I've never lost to Jabba without Datacrons and everything else mixed in there. Now, let's talk about these 3, the Holy Triumvirate, as the Skywalker Trio, I think as Arnold likes to call it. Jedi Master Luke, Leia Organa, and Jabba. So Jedi Master Luke is an interesting farm. Obviously, if you bought Shadows of the Empire, you get a bunch of this stuff. You get Old Ben, you get what do we got here? All these, Princess Leia, Wedge Antilles, Biggs Darklighter, Lando Calrissian, they're all in the Shadows of the Empire bundles. They were given to you there. And a lot of those guys, Lando, are required for Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. You can even say Princess Leia. Well, she is required for Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, not at Relic 3, but you got to get CLS to get him unlocked. So Jedi Knight Luke is required here. And what we're going to see here with Jedi Master Luke, here's this farm right here, and Jabba, who requires Jedi Knight Luke, Jabba, who requires Han Solo, Jabba, who requires C-3PO. Then we're going to look at Leia Organa. Look at Leia Organa. Leia requires Commander Luke Skywalker. Leia requires 3PO and Chewie. Leia requires, I think, R2 is in there. Captain Han Solo, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, who are also required for Jedi Knight Luke. I think Lando is in here. Lando is required for Jedi Knight Luke. You're getting a lot of requirements in all 3 of these farms. There's a lot of overlap. We've talked about this a lot on the channel. These 3 farms overlap with each other in tremendous, tremendous ways. And so I'm going to take this little trio and say any one of these 3 would be a great choice as a first Galactic Legend because of the overlap they have and what they do for you. I'm going to default to Jabba and Leia because they give you some extra stuff. Jabba will take you to Smuggler's Run 2, and Leia will take you to the last tier of Endor Escalation or whatever the Wicked event is called. You get some extra stuff there, including an Omicron. Now, when we look at these farms, I'm going to go back to the Kyrotex. Obviously, if you take Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, which I just talked about all the value in Kylo Ren, he is like half of the Kyrotex, or a third, almost a third of the Kyrotex at most. Well, if you look at all together, 2,100 versus 3,400. So, yeah, a lot less Kyrotex required for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren than any of these 3 here, Leia Organa, Jabba, and Jedi Master Luke. So a lot less Kyrotex required for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So if you're looking for ease of farming and value you get, and you're going to get the Executor and have a ship that can be, I still like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren as a first Galactic Legend choice. But out of the other 3, if we're going to pick one of these 3, that's going to be our first Galactic Legend, I'm going with Leia Organa. You're going to have a Kyrotech investment, but right now, Captain Rex is now double shard farmable. Princess Nisa is now double shard farmable. And coming soon to a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes holo table near you, Scout Trooper and Captain Drogon will be double shard farmable. What does that mean for new players? It means that characters, for the first year or so you farm them, you can only get 1 shard per farm. We'll take a look at Drogon here. If I do a find Drogon, let's go ahead and find him. I only get 1 shard every time I farm Captain Drogon. But if I go up here to Captain Rex, I get 2 shards because he has been updated now to a 2 shard farm. So you've got a lot of now, these characters are unlocking it at double shard farming. And when we look at the rest of the farm, it's really not all that difficult to get. Wicket is a regular node farm. Lando is an easy unlock. Akbar, you're going to get a lot of shards of him early with your home one unlock. R2 is an easy unlock early with your Empire. Hence, Captain Han Solo, Rebel Officer Leia Organa. You got to do a little bit of out-of-your-way farming for them, but not a lot. They're not that difficult to get. And if you're in a Hoth Territory Battle Guild light side, you're going to get Rolo shards like crazy. That's Rebel Officer Leia Organa Rolo. Chief Chirpa, a Cantina farm. Commander Luke Skywalker. A lot of people will get Commander Luke Skywalker very early in the game anyway because it's a very easy unlock to get. It is not difficult to unlock him. Bush Leia is a challenge to get her up to Relic 5. It's a lot of Kyrotex and investment there. Chupio, you got to go farm him in Lobot. There's not a lot of hard farms here. There are a lot of Kyrotex required. I'm going to give you that. But this is a lot of stuff. You're going to end up with a Commander Luke Skywalker team, which is an endgame team. You're going to end up with a Phoenix team. You're going to go farm those Phoenix to go with your Captain Rex. That's going to be a nice team. And plus, you're going to get a lot of the requirements. Once you farm Leia Organa, you're going to be just a hop skip. You're just going to be a Hermit Yoda and a Darth Vader and a Wampa away from Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Because you're going to go get your Chewie, you're going to go get your Millennium Falcon, you're going to do all that stuff to fill out your CLS team along the way. And these characters like Lando, Captain Han Solo, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, you're going to be just right around the corner from Jedi Knight Luke. And where's Jedi Knight Luke required? In both of these farms. Jabba, and you're going to have Han Solo already there for your CLS team. You're going to have 3PO there for your CLS team. You're going to have Bush Leia already done from your Leia Organa farm. And Jedi Master Luke, who needs Jedi Knight Luke. You have a lot of these characters already upgraded for that Leia Organa farm. So, these three, I don't know what I didn't mean to click on that. These 3 farms roll into each other. If I'm picking one as your first Galactic Legend in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes that'll lead you to everything else, I'm going to say Leia Organa rolls into Jabba and Jedi Master Luke. I think Leia Organa is the best first Galactic Legend in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes right now. It is a heavy Kyrotech investment. If you want to go a second way that'll give you some value, I'm going to go with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And, obviously any of the other 2, Jabba or Jedi Master Luke, will lead you. And these 3 just lead into each other automatically. A second direction other than these 3 is going to be Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And there are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Who should your first Galactic Legend be in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? I'd love to hear from you guys. I hope you all have a great day. I will talk to you soon. And always, of course, remember, Nooch too good.